An MZO, or a Minister's Zoning Order, is a powerful tool that allows the provincial government to override the local planning process and approve any development project it wants. It can bypass public consultations, environmental assessments, and municipal bylaws that normally regulate land use and development. An MZO is issued by the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, and it is not subject to appeal at the Local Planning Appeal Tribunal, LPAT. In Peel Region, the Ford government has used MZOs to approve several controversial projects that have faced opposition from local councils, residents, and environmental groups. For example, in July 2020, the province issued an MZO to allow a sprawling subdivision in Caledon that would destroy farmland and wetlands. In May 2021, the province issued another MZO to allow a developer to almost double the size of a waterfront project in Mississauga that would increase traffic and density in the area. And in November 2021, the province received an MZO request from a developer who wanted to build a large subdivision in Brampton that would also house a new Peel Regional Police Division. These MZOs have been criticized for undermining local democracy, eroding environmental protections, and favoring developers over communities. The Ontario Auditor General has slammed the widespread use of MZOs in Ontario under the PC government, saying that they have significant environmental impacts and that Ontarians should be consulted on them. The Peel Region Council has also passed a motion calling on the province to stop issuing MZOs without proper consultation and respect for local planning decisions. MZOs are essentially a ministerial veto that can override the local planning process in Peel Region. They are a way for the province to impose its will on municipalities and developers to get their projects approved faster. They are a threat to the environment, democracy, and community well-being in Peel Region. In this section, we will explore how the Ford government granted an MZO to a developer to increase the size and density of Lakeview Village, a waterfront project in Mississauga, without consulting the city or the community. Lakeview Village is a massive development project on Mississauga's waterfront that aims to transform a former industrial site into a mixed-use community with residential, commercial, cultural, and recreational spaces. The project was originally planned to have 8,000 residential units with a maximum height of 25 stories. However, in May 2023, the developer behind the project, Lakeview Community Partners Limited, asked the province for a Minister's Zoning Order, MZO, to bypass the local planning process and add thousands of more units and unlimited heights to the project. An MZO is a tool that allows the province to regulate the use of land anywhere in Ontario and override municipal zoning bylaws. The province granted the request on May 12, 2023, without notifying or consulting the city or the community. The MZO allows Lakeview Village to double its size to around 16,000 new units and plan for unlimited height through most of the development. The province claimed that the MZO will help tackle the housing supply crisis and that the developer will pay for the infrastructure needed for the community. However, Mississauga's mayor and councillors were furious and shocked by the decision. They said that the MZO was a significant departure from the original plan that was agreed upon by the city and the developer after years of consultation and collaboration. They said that they were worried about the impact of such a massive development on the infrastructure, environment, traffic, transit, services, and quality of life of the residents. They also said that they felt betrayed and disrespected by the province for ignoring their input and expertise on local planning matters. They accused the province of favoring developers over municipalities and communities. They urged residents to voice their opposition to the MZO and pressured the provincial government to reverse its decision. The MZO sparked outrage and fear among local residents who felt blindsided by the sudden change in their neighborhood. They said that they were not opposed to development, but they wanted it to be done in a responsible and sustainable way that respects their vision and values. They said that they wanted to have a say in how their waterfront is developed and not have it imposed by an external authority. They also said that they were concerned about how such a high-density development will affect their environment, health, safety, and well-being. They said that they wanted to preserve their waterfront as a public asset and not have it dominated by private interests. They joined forces with local councillors and community groups to protest against the MZO and demand more transparency and accountability from the province. The MZO issued by the Ford government for Lakeview Village has serious implications for Mississauga's vision for its waterfront, its infrastructure needs, and its relationship with the province and other municipalities in Peel region. Mississauga has been planning for a sustainable and vibrant waterfront community for over a decade, with extensive public consultation and environmental assessments. The city wanted to create a mixed-use development that would balance residential, commercial, and recreational uses, while preserving natural features and public access to the lake. The city also wanted to ensure that the development would be supported by adequate infrastructure and services, such as roads, transit, schools, and emergency facilities. However, the MZO granted by the province allows the developer to bypass the local planning process and increase the height and density of the project significantly. The MZO also overrides any existing zoning bylaws or official plans that apply to the site. This means that the developer can build more units than what the city had approved, without having to comply with any of the city's standards or requirements. The MZO also prevents any appeals or challenges to the decision by the city or the public. The MZO undermines Mississauga's vision for its waterfront by allowing a massive and potentially incompatible development that could harm the environment, create traffic congestion, and strain the existing infrastructure and services. The MZO also disregards the input and interests of the local residents and stakeholders who have been involved in the planning process for years. The MZO also sets a dangerous precedent for future developments along the waterfront and elsewhere in the city. The MZO also affects Mississauga's infrastructure needs by creating a gap between the demand and supply of essential services. The city estimates that the increased density of Lakeview Village will require an additional $1.5 billion in infrastructure investments over 20 years. However, the province has not committed to providing any funding or support for these investments. The city will have to bear the cost of upgrading and expanding its infrastructure to accommodate the development, which could result in higher property taxes or reduced services for its residents. The MZO also impacts Mississauga's relationship with the province and other municipalities in Peel region. The MZO shows a lack of respect and trust from the province towards Mississauga's planning authority and autonomy. The MZO also contradicts the province's stated support for an independent Mississauga, which would allow the city to secede from Peel region and become a single-tier municipality. The MZO also creates a potential conflict with Brampton and Caledon, which are part of Peel region and share some of its infrastructure and services. The MZO could affect their planning decisions and interests as well. In conclusion, the MZO issued by the Ford government for Lakeview Village is a controversial and detrimental decision that affects Mississauga's vision for its waterfront, its infrastructure needs, and its relationship with the province and other municipalities in Peel region. The MZO disregards Mississauga's long-term planning goals, imposes an unsustainable development on its waterfront, creates a financial burden on its infrastructure, and undermines its autonomy and cooperation within Peel region.